Welcome to the Following Films podcast. I'm your host, Chris Maynard. Today's episode is a must-listen for fans of both music and movies, especially if you grew up renting The Matrix, Die Hard, and Jurassic Park on VHS until the tape wore out. I'm joined by Durry, the sibling duo making waves with their nostalgic yet modern alt-rock sound. We're talking about their new single, This Movie Sucks, a song about feeling trapped in a life you didn't write, paired with the music video that's a hilarious tribute to video store classics. From bullet time to dinosaurs and air ducts, the video recreates iconic moments from 80s and 90s cinema with a do-it-yourself flair that's as clever as it is heartfelt. We dive into their creative process, their love of old school filmmaking, and how they write songs. Before we get into the interview, here's This Movie Sucks. Hope you enjoy the show.
I've been living life like it's a movie I don't wanna watch. Can we just cut right to the montage? Skip ahead a month or two, and I thought I would be better, but I'm not. This movie sucks. I guess when I'm dead, it's just the ending that I get. No riding through the sunset, there's no bloopers at the end. So I'll just bide my time and try my luck, nod and smile and bite my tongue again. Why do I keep trying to make the plot make sense? My life is a movie I don't wanna watch. A homemade horror flick on VHS. Why pretend that anybody gets a sequel and a happy end after the end? Getting tired, so annoyed I'm even trying. You can guess who's dying next, but I'm just waiting for the plot twist. If I'm honest, I forgot who's the bad guy and who's not. I guess it just depends who's even watching. This movie sucks. My life is a movie that I don't wanna watch. A homemade horror flick on VHS. Why pretend that anybody gets a sequel and a happy end after? I'm a low-budget disaster made with ketchup, blood, plastic girls when it's said and done. I guess when I'm dead, that's just the ending that I get. No riding to the sunset, there's no bloopers at the end. So I just bide my time and try my luck, nod and smile and bite my tongue again. Why do I keep trying to make the plot make sense? I guess when I'm dead, that's just the ending that I get. No riding to the sunset, there's no bloopers at the end. So I just bide my time and try my luck, nod and smile and bite my tongue again. Why do I keep trying to make the plot make sense?
So thank you both so much for taking the time to do this. I really appreciate it. I had a wonderful weekend listening to your music and watching a ton of your videos. And this happens every once in a while where I feel like there's just artists whose work you connect with so immediately, where it feels like there's all these reference points that you get right away. Where one of my favorite things in music is when lyrically and sonically they're in dire opposition of one another. And I often find that you have very thoughtful lyrics that are often undercut with just a little punchline or by how catchy they are. And I'm just wondering if you could talk a little bit about that. Is that something you aim for?
Yeah, I feel like our whole shtick is just like kind of being accidentally thoughtful, you know what I mean? But like the whole veneer is about like just like being loose and like whatever, being sarcastic about stuff. But we work super hard on our lyrics, and we really want to like say something important and all that kind of stuff too. But it's always under a guise of humor or something stupid.
Fair enough. And how do you guys write together? If you could just talk a little bit about that.
Yes, I usually write most of it and then kind of bring it to Taryn to then she's like the quality check, and then it kind of like adjusts from there. So it's usually like, what do you think of this? And she'll be like, this part is corny, this part makes you sound old or whatever, and then
I do
we
my
shift
best.
it, and then we move over. And we often we've described it as she's the like Gen Z vision course corrector,
Yeah, I feel like Austin is really the visionary in a lot of this. And then he shows stuff to me, brings it to me, and then we'll just kind of dissect it from there, I guess. And I feel like we're just in the creative process kind of, we're just constantly talking back and forth and yeah, I don't know, just refining it as much as we can. And sometimes it's a really long process.
I text Taryn like 50 times a day with like, what do you think of this? What do you think of this? What do you think of this?
Yeah, we text a lot.
Well, I have a similar, well, not creatively, but my kid sister is my music partner in life. She's the person that I still go to concerts with, the person that if I hear a new band, I immediately send her the link to it. I'm almost 50 years old, and I don't think I'm ever going to let go of that part of myself. I think I'm still going to be striving to look for new music for the rest of my life. I assumed I would have gotten off that highway a long time ago, but I'm just going to keep on going along till I have the tinnitus completely takes over and I have nothing left at that point. So
I don't think you ever need to do that with music.
No.
Yeah. I feel like it's always sad when people stop discovering new music or stop like finding new bands or whatever, and they just stick to their same bands they had in high school, for the rest of their life. Like, come on, there's more to it than that. There's more to life than that,
Yeah,
well,
we've had a lot of fans like say that they find our band and it's the first band they've liked since like high school or college or whatever.
Yeah.
So then what is the average age of your fan base then?
I think our like most popular demo is like 25 to 35.
Makes sense.
That's kind of our and kind of specifically like nerds in the most endearing way.
Well, hence the Losers Club thing.
Exactly.
Which is a loving reference to Stephen King, but again, what you were talking about before, where it's something that actually has a little bit more depth than just here's a reference that I'm pulling, and which is something with This Movie Sucks, which I think you could watch the video and get something out of that and just listen to it if you're not paying attention to the lyrics and completely miss how thoughtful that song is, because I think it is actually a very thoughtful song. But I would be remiss not to mention the movie references in it, because these are all from when I was in high school. This is all shit from before you guys were born for the most part. So I'm wondering how you landed on these. Okay.
Yeah. No, I mean, a lot of these were the movies that I grew up with that we kind of were filming them and realizing that Taryn hadn't seen like any of these because she's like not a film person.
It's really, I'm not super into movies to be honest. And so it's really funny that we ended up having a whole movie theme. But yeah, a lot of the movies like I have not seen.
Growing up, I was inside like playing video games and watching movies, and Taryn was like outdoors doing real life things. So that's the culprit.
Yeah. Just building things.
So she's your reporter going out into the world and telling you what's actually going on out there.
Exactly.
Okay.
Oh no.
Exactly. No, but we actually started this live stream series we did where we were just watching these movies for the first time, showing Taryn Jurassic Park and The Matrix, and and it was really fun. Just like, I don't know, being guiding you through these movies. Like,
So
Yes.
Taryn, how was that for you to see these things for the first time as an adult? That's these are movies that most people your age, they probably saw them when they were very, very young. And any child of mine, my kid, I showed this to my 9-year-old, and he was able to recognize every single reference in it, with the exception of Kill Bill. And then when I talked to
Yeah.
him about it, I was like, wait, well, but you know the song by Bernard Herrmann, because he loves the whistling theme in it that Bernard Herrmann did, because he's really into classic film scores. And so, yeah, he was
Yeah,
able to pull that out right away. But it's
that's
like,
hilarious.
we'll get to that one when you're, I don't know, 11, 12 seems appropriate. That's when we can watch that.
That's
Yeah,
so
yeah.
funny.
We didn't watch Kill Bill on the stream because it was like, oh, I don't know what's gonna happen with that one. So we're
Uh,
already a little risky with our copyright problems. We don't need, gore problems too. So
Fair enough.
yeah.
So
But
that,
yeah,
oh,
I mean,
please.
sorry. Yeah, you were just asking like, how was that for me, right?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. It was really fun. It was kind of weird, like, um, it was hard to really like lock in and pay attention to him when everybody else on the internet is watching me do that live. So like, the attention span was not entirely there half the time, but that's okay. But no, it's really fun, like, um, seeing them for the first time and like watching them together, honestly, like Austin and I together, because I think like, in the live stream we joked about a lot of things and talked about things, and like it was just a really good experience. Every week we like um brought themed snacks for the movies.
Nice.
And so yeah, I feel like we just made a fun experience out of it. Um but
yeah, I feel like I was like, I think it was helpful that I knew the movies really well, because then I could
yeah.
like give you a quick little plot recap when you weren't paying attention. Be like, oh, this guy's this
Oh, I
guy, this
need
guy's this
them.
guy. Okay, okay, good.
Ugh.
Then,
Yeah,
is there any of these films that you saw that you would say, okay, this is something I want to go back and watch it when the world isn't watching me watch it?
definitely. Like I kind of feel like I need to do that with almost all of them. Like I need to watch them truly for myself now. And like um yeah, again, because of that, I just had a harder time following it. And so I'm like, but I'm intrigued. So I do want to go back and watch them. Um, yeah, I don't know.
What's this movie stuff about? Let
What
me.
Well,
is this?
it's so funny because like even right away when I'm watching your stuff, I'm, oh, look at all these yellow and white fonts. This is clearly a Wes Anderson thing that they're doing. Is what it
Oh
feels
my
like to
gosh.
me. I don't know if that's the case, but I assume Taryn, you're like, I don't know. It's just the color that we use.
We
I mean,
Eric.
it's a marketing
Oh
thing,
God.
a brand
Yeah.
thing.
Okay, fair enough.
We like day one. We were like, we should pick a color and just like go for it. And yellow. It was just like, I've never seen another band do that. Yellow doesn't take itself too seriously. It feels like,
Yeah.
the vibe. So we've been living in a world of yellow for like 3 years now.
Well, yeah, you even had yellow jumpsuits in one of the videos that I think
Oh yeah.
is that the one that has the backgrounds that you reused in the Godzilla parody also? Is that okay? I thought that was the
Yeah.
case. Okay, cool.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, you'll start noticing that we reuse everything. Like everything we buy for a video is like you're gonna see that over and over.
I
Okay.
have my like yellow closet. Like separate
Yeah,
from my regular clothes, it's my Durry clothes, you know?
yep,
So
yeah.
then,
Because like we do like yellow costumes like constantly. Like I'm always on line searching yellow, whatever. And yeah, we have a closet full of ugly clothes. We're never gonna wear them in real life.
It's an easy way to like keep it consistent though, too, you
True.
know? And like, yeah, just keep the theme going.
that works. And then there's also something that I noticed in several of the videos that what is Warglocks? Is that an actual okay, so I went down a rabbit hole and I was finding dice holders that were Warglock. I don't know if that's what it was or if this is an actual movie that exists somewhere.
You're gonna love this, and
Okay.
and so is my buddy that makes these. So Dark Moon Home Video
Okay.
is what it's called, and he makes fake movies, like fake like B horror movie like things. He like prints VHS covers of these fake movies, and they have like plot synopsis on the back, and pulls images for the backs, and like promotes them like they're real, and they're like hilarious and awesome. And and yeah, like sells posters and VHS tapes, and I thought Warglock was hilarious. That's the first one I found, and I immediately like hit him up and was like, I need a big old poster for the wall of Warglock, and then he sent me a VHS of it too, and we started putting that around, and eventually he made a few like handmade action figures for his different movies.
Nice.
And one of them was Warglock, and he sent it to me. So I have this little like homemade little wizard guy with a gun. It's so funny.
I love that. The only thing, it makes me sad that that's not an actual movie, because that's one of the font is exactly like this movie Warlock from the 80s. It's his horror movie. So clearly he's riffing on that, but it's just, I want to go see this movie. I would love to see that.
Yeah, I love how real it is, and it's just kind of a big joke.
Oh yeah.
There's one we actually, in the original plan for the music video for This Movie Sucks, we had one quick shot, and it was just going to be me in a wizard costume with the gun, just for like just one little second, and we didn't end up being able to fit it in, but I wish we could.
The other reference that when I'm watching this, because I showed this to my wife, we watched it, she loved the song. Then again, showing it with my 9-year-old, the one that he got that I missed the first time was the Die Hard reference. Because he always says, that line from it. I think he picked it up as a meme somewhere where it's just, go to the coast, whatever that is that he says when he lights the light or that thing.
Together, we'll have some laughs.
Yeah, there you go. And so that one goes super quick. Some of these are these reference points or things that I think people would miss the first time, possibly because they happen so quickly. And you have to have a very specific and large diet of 80s VHS tapes, probably to get all of them. So is there anything people miss that you haven't heard yet?
I'm pretty sure pretty sure they've all been gotten. People have dissected it pretty thoroughly. But yeah, we wanted like as we're establishing the idea of these like rip-off movies that we're finding, it starts out pretty big chunks of movies, and then by the end it's just like one shot, throw away different movies, you know. But yeah, we threw in like a really quick like Men in Black, we threw in Die Hard, just any little one-off thing where like what's recognizable and we can do it without spending any money. Those are the criteria.
Yeah, we when we were planning the video too, we wanted to be so much more ambitious, and like we were going to have so many more shots, but we just didn't have room for them in the video. Like the song was not long enough to include everything we wanted to. So we ended up like bailing on a lot of plans. So we shot could have done more.
We shot one for Mrs. Doubtfire with the like whipped cream on the face. But it didn't stick to my face. It was like they must have used something different in the actual movie, because it was like it didn't work. But
it looked so bad.
Yeah, we were gonna try and do like Ghostbusters, but then like the costumes were too expensive, and like we did a lot of trial and error to figure out which movies were gonna work.
Yeah,
we also did a lot of the old Bezos rental system where you like the Godzilla.
I've never heard that, but I know exactly what that is.
Yeah, you know what it is. So the Godzilla situation was probably the most expensive shot. But
that's an investment in your future. Having Godzilla suits around the house, I think that's going to come up if it was a rental, but that could be something you consider owning, because there's been plenty of times in my life where a Godzilla suit would have come in real. It would have been clutch, and I didn't have it. So.
Yeah, you never know when you need a blow up costume.
Yeah, if we could have justified the money for that, I would love to still have the gorilla costume.
That'd be amazing. But okay, one again, going back to the idea of the juxtaposition of differing kind of themes in the lyrics and then in the video itself. The part in the song where you talk about bloopers, and life doesn't have bloopers, and it's not this, it's kind of a more sad tone to it, but that's the part in the video when it becomes the most fun, when you're doing the Terminator 2 thing and you're having these cutaways and that sort of. Do you ever think about that undercutting the meaning of the song, or is that just they exist as their own things?
Yeah, I think that especially this one is like I don't think the context of this video, like visually, is like we're not really trying to communicate very like deep thoughts here. We're kind of just trying to have fun.
Yeah.
We're trying to get the viewer to watch it twice, and as long as that happens, great. And then you can go on and listen to the song and figure out what we're really talking about, and then hopefully derive some level of depth there and all that kind of stuff. But I think especially with the videos, like that's the surface, that's the hook to get you in. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, it's a wildly different experience listening to your music and then watching the videos for it, because I listened to it first. That's the kind of dork that I am. I went down to the record store and you had the single that was put out for Record Store Day, and I picked that up, and so I was, and I adore that Bubble in My Gum. That's such a cool song. I just love I'm a sucker for that kind of wordplay, and just it's such a pretty little song, and it's so simple, and I'm kind of glad that I haven't seen that turned into something different, because I like that it exists. I don't know if there's a video for that or not, but I was glad to have it live its own thing.
There is a video for that one, a very literal video. It's just like whatever we're singing about, that's what's on the screen. Like that's it.
It's kind of not that good either.
It was a early one. That was like before our album. We were still figuring it out. I had just got my camera and like didn't really know how to use it yet. So my first non-phone camera. So that was a learning curve.
Though. Yeah. It was good.
Well, that's the thing that this reminds me of, me and my friends in high school, that we did this exact thing. That on the weekends, a lot of people were playing sports and doing those kinds of things. We were fucking around with instruments and making movies. And that's exactly what we did. There are more Night of the Living Dead remakes that me and my friends made over the course of 6 years than I care to admit to. And none of them were good, but they were all made with so much heart and so much fun, that I think that that's what, out of watching all of your stuff that I saw this weekend, and I watched quite a bit of it where I just kind of let it play. And that's what I was taken back to. And it's such a warm thing. And just seeing you guys make this art, it's just, I don't know. It has that do-it-yourself aesthetic that doesn't feel out of reach for people. And I think it could be approachable in a way that a lot of things aren't, where you could say, you know what, I could at least pick up a camera and do something in that neighborhood. It might not be as clever or as fun, but I could do something like that, I think. I think that's great.
Yeah, I did a lot of making movies with my friends too as a kid. And so, definitely call back for anybody who did creative video stuff as a kid or whatever. That's like, that's the nostalgia lane we're going down with this one for sure. And we kind of had this like mentality of like, what do we call it? Like does it pass the squint test? That's like whatever's on the screen. Like if you squint at it, does it look like the movie? You know what I mean? So like it's obviously like Karen on her back in the garage doing the Matrix kick, and like it looks awful. But if you squint, it's kind of green. It's kind of side. Kind of looks right.
But if it looked good, it wouldn't be as much fun. If you did, if you actually had a budget for it, if you weren't doing the backwards thing on the chair, then it would not be as charming as it is.
Exactly.
I think that you lean into it is what makes it work. There's a movie, I think it was about, oh God, I can't remember the name of it, but there's these kids that over the course of 2 years, when they're in middle school, they remade Raiders of the Lost Ark shot for shot. So including like where the airplane spins around and all that stuff, and like getting dragged underneath the Jeep, like middle school kids pulled this off. And it's not perfect. And that's what's so charming about it, because it's kids on the weekend making this VHS thing that got released. And it's, you can find it out there on the internet. I'll put it in the show notes, the name of it, but it's just those types of things that to me are so wildly inspiring. Cause if I watch a Kubrick film, I love it, but that doesn't inspire me to pick up a camera. That inspires me to put down a camera and say, okay, I'll never do that. So, but I think it's important to have art that inspires other people to go pick up their things. And your music is deceptive because it sounds super simple. And as somebody who plays a little bit, it's much more nuanced than people might not immediately realize. So,
yeah, the last record was a little more simple musically. This one, we have stepped things up quite a bit in the complexities and stuff. But yeah, we kind of want that, like, I think when you keep things really simple, at least on the surface, it's like that's what makes it sound like familiar. That's kind of what we want. Like we want to feel like a band you already know, but in a package you don't, and with new songs and all that kind of stuff.
It's that
I
separation.
think we want everything to be like easy to consume, and like we want to maintain the image of being approachable, whether that's in our music or the videos, with the DIY nature of them, or even like shows. I feel like that's a big key part of everything that we want to do. So
totally, yeah, just being real and like being genuinely approachable, like not like we're pretending to be approachable. Like we're just like we're just dudes doing our thing. I don't know.
Well, there's that. That's very important now. I think probably more than ever, the authenticity. I think people can smell fake authenticity more than anything, and there's a lot of people that try to pretend like they're being authentic and real. And if the truth is, if you were just to be honest with yourself first before you present something to the world, I think that's usually where that separation comes in, where people are lying to themselves about who they are. And then the art that they present is not a reflection of that. So we smell bullshit. It feels like you guys have been very honest with who you are and are comfortable in reflecting that. And it could be all a very, I don't know, it could be a ruse. And it's very convincing. And if so, like, congratulations, you totally fooled me. But
go ahead, Jim.
It's interesting that like when we first started the band and everything, and we were trying to figure out like what our style was and whatever, we like at first we were like trying to be cooler, and it just wasn't working for us. And so that's how we kind of like discovered our like style with just the whole DIY thing and that sort of thing, and just things being imperfect but still quality as best as we can. But like we're not cool guys, and so we kind of just stopped trying to be. So
I remember being like realizing it was like I'm bored of the cool guys, everyone's a cool guy. I don't know, I'm over it. Like let's just be real.
There's an amazing thing that happens with age where you realize, oh, I'm 20 years past knowing what cool is anymore. So I have no idea. I don't even think I knew when I was what that possibly could have been at that time. But now I'm so far removed from it. Who the hell cares? It's such a, I don't know. It's such an empty pursuit to do that. But when you're able, because there's that thing that you always know in your heart of hearts that this isn't real, something that you said, that it wasn't genuine. It's like when you take that vulnerability risk of showing yourself for who you are, it's so much more rewarding. Even if it's just connecting with one person, it feels like it was so much more impact than if you had 100,000 people react to something that was bullshit.
Totally. And that's kind of like the mentality that started this whole band. So I had another band, my old band that I was doing for like 10 years. And it's called Coyote Kid, and it was like a
God damn it, I'm the worst researcher. I was Apple Music recommended, and I'm like, holy shit, it sounds like the exact same singer, but like Apple Music's algorithm is usually pretty terrible. But I'm like, this one, they nailed it. So okay, that makes sense.
Different vibe, that was like gravelly goth cowboy, very cool guy music, or trying to be, but not really, because it was also like this like sci-fi. We had like a D&D campaign. It was like this whole story, whatever. It was super nerdy, but like we were trying to be cool.
So it's a Coheed and Cambria-esque thing. Okay, got it.
Bingo. But yeah, COVID shut that down, and it was kind of like, man, how are we gonna? I was kind of picking up the pieces of that. Is how I wrote the first song that Durry ever did, and that was Losers Club. And then that started the Loser Club thing, and it was just kind of about like realizing who you are and being okay with that, and self-acceptance and all those things, and kind of flipping it on its head a little bit, and now here we are. We can do whatever we want. We don't have to be cool guys, and that's fine.
But isn't that
the classic COVID story?
Yeah.
The classic. I think mine's probably a little bit more common for a middle-aged liberal white guy that picked up his guitar again and learned half the Wilco catalog. That's probably a little bit more common than.
It's also valuable.
No, talk to my wife. There is no value in it. I mean, I
Oh,
enjoy it, but you haven't heard me play. It's not pretty. So, yeah, the thing about that, I'm very interested in seeing you guys play, because how do you translate this when you're touring? Because it's not, there's clearly more than just the two of you when you're
Uh,
playing.
yeah. So my wife plays bass for us. So she comes on the road with us, and then our buddy Dane plays drums, and we're just a nice little four piece. We have some tracks we play with to do like synths and some
Okay.
background vocals and stuff like that. And yeah, we've in the past we've just toured really small, and we have a little setup in our little tiny van, and our little like cardboard sign that says Durry, and that's like our whole thing. Um, and yeah, we're stepping it up a lot for this next tour. I have this maybe too ambitious plan to build like a wall of TVs that's going to go behind us, and then we're going to like program all these little videos that go on there with like lyrics and movie references and stuff like that, like throughout the set. Uh, that's the dream anyway. We'll see how that comes together, but it'll be
You
a
guys
lot
are
of
oh,
fun.
playing in
it's
October in
gonna
Phoenix, so how close are you to having that realized?
Uh,
I'm scared. I don't know.
I have the technical side figured out, but I need to find a bunch of TVs still. Um, so that'll be just a lot of thrift store trips, I think. Um,
We're trying to
so
make it
yeah,
adaptable to the different stage
yeah,
sizes. So I don't know. That's another challenge.
yeah. No promises on that. But
Well,
that's
Crescent
that's the
Ballroom's a
dream.
pretty good sized room, so you'd have plenty of room on that stage. So I don't know if you guys have
But
played Phoenix before, but that's a
Mm-mm.
great little theater that you guys are playing. So that should be a good room.
cool. I'm excited. Yeah, a lot of these rooms are a big step up from the last tour. So yeah, it definitely feels like we got to step up our like presentation. I really want like we can't afford a big giant light show, but I want something for you to look at. That's like important to me, is that something happening on the stage, and it's not just a guy with a guitar, because I'm bored of that.
Well, did you ever see Guar play?
I haven't seen it, but I know the legends of Guar. Yeah, that we're not going to be throwing blood on anybody, but
I mean, yes, it's not for everyone, but it is that idea of the live show being its own thing that's separate from the music itself. Because to me, I'm that's not my taste in music. I don't really care for thrash metal, but you package it that way, and you put just like, there's going to be large animatronics sacrificing babies on stage, and it's the most absurd thing in the world. Okay, sign me up. I've never seen that before, so I'll check that out.
I
That's
think
so weird
about
to
how.
hear with no context. I think for us too,
Sorry.
part of our show, it's okay. We It's really important to us to just like try and have little personal moments with as many people as we can in the crowd, and that like means a lot to them and it means a lot to me. And sometimes that's just hard to figure out what that looks like, but that's a big goal for us, and we're I think we're like gonna make more space to like talk to people on our next tour coming up, and like that always impacts me a lot, 'cause I'm less so on social media, and so I don't always see the other side of it and the fans and whatever. So that's always good to just to hear from people and see them. But
Karen lives in the real world.
yeah, that's what
Well,
we're learning from this, basically.
being
Yeah,
on social media, it's a necessary evil when you have something that you're creating and you have to put it out in the world. I hate it. I've
Yeah,
never spent an hour on my phone and afterwards thought that was time well spent. So
true.
anytime you put down your phone for a while and disengage with social media, I mean, I don't care what you're doing. Go outside and take a walk the dog for an hour. You'll be much better off having done
Mhm.
that than spending any time doom scrolling. So
yeah. We took maybe like months off of social media to make the record and make videos and stuff like that. And it was so nice. I loved it. And then now we had to like turn it on again, and I'm in it deep, and I hate it, and it feels awful. But that's the game, man. That's what we do.
Yeah, he's got a post planned every day for the next like 7 months or something, which is insane.
It's like
that's why you're good at it.
Videos to edit or something. I don't want to do that.
I don't have that thing inside me, and I don't envy people that do have that thing inside them, but I'm glad that you do, because
we're like, oh, go ahead.
No, please. You're like,
we're like 4 or 5 weeks into this like social media campaign thing, and I'm already like, we can take a day off. Like, come on, we can slow this down a little bit. I'm already getting lazy, so we'll see how long it keeps up.
Well, it's the problem that I have with it is I'm a dopamine junkie. So I have that thing that I think is probably common for people who got involved in the arts at some point, where I both hate and need validation constantly. So I hate that about myself, that I need external validation, but I know that I need it. And then if I'm going and I'm looking to see how many people downloaded something and how is this episode doing and checking it, just let it go, man. You put the thing into the world. It's fine. You're proud of it. It doesn't matter at this point. So,
real, very real.
I wish that was who I was. I'm not, though. I'm still checking.
Yeah, I really wish I could post and just be like, okay, whatever, moving on. No, I'm looking. I see every comment. Yeah, it's awful. But yeah, they started on Instagram. They started this new like program thing called like trial reels or whatever. Okay. And I like tried one, and it's and it like only shows it to people who don't know who you are first, and it's like brutal for the whole like feedback thing. It's just like 500 views, 2 likes, 0 comments. Oh man, cool. These aren't my people who already like me.
It's okay to feed things to the people that already like you. They're fine. They'll tell a friend and they'll grow that out organically. Yeah, exactly. Hopefully. I mean, that's literally why I'm doing this. It's why I started doing this like 15 years ago, was just to signal boost artists like you guys who are doing things that I like, that I appreciate. And I love that I don't have to ever cover anything that I'm not interested in. If that were to ever happen, I don't think I could do this anymore. I think it would probably end at that point. But yeah, I'm happy to be able to help spread the word about your band, because this is somebody, like, in my own personal life, I've been already telling people about it and that I can share that out further. I just have one question, though. Is it okay if I use one of your songs in the episode of the podcast? Is that?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Of course.
Do your thing. I feel like we get asked that kind of stuff all the time. Like, can you use it for whatever? And I'm like, if you're showing our music to people, like, that's all we could ever ask for. Like, just do it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. So when is the full album coming out? Because it was at the 24th or something. I was looking at the pre-orders for the vinyl. So
June 27th.
Okay.
Yep. And one thing you might be interested in is we did this thing where the vinyl record comes with a like cardboard insert that's a punch out VHS cover and it's like based on the music videos that we've made. So each one has and it's randomized. So there's like 3 options, and then different vinyl come with different ones. And
collectibles.
And yeah, they're just like legit little cardboard VHS covers that were designed by my friend that made Warglock. Yeah, it's all plays into this movie thing we're doing.
That's amazing. What a great idea. Are you going to sell the compilations on VHS of the videos so that you could have that something to insert into? Okay, finger goes up.
Yes, we are. Yep. I just finished making that like yesterday.
I'm so ridiculous with my merch purchases. Like I'm the exact sucker for that kind of thing. So
I just know that like 0 people will actually watch the VHS. I was like it's like a compilation of all the music videos, and I was like, who's gonna watch this? I can do whatever I want on here.
Well, I love that. Somebody will, and if you put something in,
just for you.
Well, you have at least one ordered by somebody who will watch it. The only question I have will it be okay to watch it with my 9-year-old? Because he's usually the person that will be willing to roll with me on the VHS adventure. So.
Oh yeah. No surprises. It's just all of our music videos. But it's all the ones from the last record too. So it's like, I think the whole thing is like an hour and 10 minutes long. So, of everything. So it'll be fun.
Dude, that's fantastic. I love that. That's great.
Yeah.
So, well, congratulations on the upcoming tour. Congratulations on the new song. I think you guys are doing really special work. I really enjoy it. So, and I'm really glad to share it with people because this is, this has been a net positive in my life this weekend. So I was very happy to have been turned on to your music.
That's beautiful. That's great to hear. Thank you so much. Yeah. One other thing, did you see the, just based on your reaction to the VHS thing, you might like this. Did you see the N64 cartridge?
Of course.
That we made?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I saw, and I watched the video that you did on that. It was, I was trying to be respectful of time, but how the hell did you pull that off? So.
3D printing and meticulous design. It was that
so long to figure out all the little material.
A lot of iterations. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had the I was borrowing an N64 game from a friend of mine and also giving him one of our cassettes. And so I had them both, okay, these are the things I need to bring when we go over. And they were sitting right on top of each other and they were the exact same size. And I was like, we gotta put that in there.
That's how great ideas blossom.
See,
exactly.
I have enough trouble when I get sent a lot of screeners, and a lot of the screeners that you get sent from movie studios, they don't have cover art. And so you get this really beautiful 4K disc, but it's just in a blank plastic sleeve. So, I try to go out and print my own covers for them and stuff if it's something that I care about that I want to put on the wall.
That's cool.
That's cool.
Well, it is, but it's also, I'm not very good at those dimensions. And so it's always just a little bit off, it's the new American Gigolo 4K that just came out and it'll be American Jogu and that'll be it. So I'll kind of miss the last one. But
yeah, that stuff is it's hard to get printing dimensions really accurate. I'm sure I'm sure pros know how to do that perfect, but I'm always guessing with that stuff.
It gives me newfound respect for people that were able to forge fake IDs at some point in their lives. If you're able to pull that off and convince somebody before things were scanned, because when I'm old enough that you didn't scan them, you just had an ID. So yeah, I don't know how teenagers drink these days, how they get away with that. So
that's an excellent point.
I wouldn't know.
Well, I have a 14-year-old, so I have to think about those kinds of things from that end at this point in my life.
Oh my
God. Yeah, that's coming soon. But thank you both so much for taking the time to do this. I really do appreciate it. And yeah,
this was great. Thanks for chatting.
Absolutely. And I look forward to seeing you guys in October in Phoenix at the Crescent Ballroom because I'm on board. So,
and hopefully you're going to see our big wall of thrift store TVs. It's going to be so sick.
In my mind, I'm envisioning you're the movie guy, Austin. So I'm picturing Y2K to some degree. If you've seen that movie,
yeah,
that end sequence of that kind of is what I have in my mind.
Game, and we're going to show up, and there's going to be 4 TVs, and it'll be really disappointing. But
no, we'll surprise you.
Maybe there'll be 30 TVs. We don't know.
We'll knock your socks off.
Either way, I'll be fine with it. So
we're just trying to sell tickets here.
Well, people should come if for no other reason than just to listen to the music. And so I think that it's supporting people that make good art is important to me. It's also super important to me to say thank you to artists. So thank you both. Appreciate it.
Much appreciated. Thanks so much.
Thank you, guys.
Yes,
all right.
Lately I've been making friends with all the voices in my head, but I'm afraid if I